Are we live? I feel like Bruce Buffer. We are live. From the I don't know. There's no arena here. In this corner, fighting out of the red corner. It stands at I don't know $7 tall, weighing. Hold on, what's the float? Weighing 15 million volume, 1 million float. Fighting out of the green corner. CRE. Okay, there we go. I don't know. I tried to make the little Bruce Buffer thing. All right. I tried. Okay, cause look, I grew up with the Bruce Buffer thing. Okay, I mean, we all like the Bruce Buffer thing. If you don't like the Bruce Buffer thing, I don't know what to tell you. The day Bruce Buffer retires from doing that is going to be a very sad day for everybody. But if you've watched UFC, you know. Okay, right. Anyways, yeesh. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I almost said happy Monday. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We make sure we're live. Let me make sure we're live. Hold on. Hold on. All right. There we go. All right, let me just fix this up over here. All right. Oh, it's doing the thingy with the little glitchy. That's fine. I got something for it right here. It's called the fix. Hold on. There we are. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves all set up today. Let's make sure we're live on the X. Are we live on the X? Good morning. All right. There we are. All right. Looking good. We're live on the X. Let's make sure we're live on the Twitch. Are we live on the Twitch? Let's see. All right. Are we live there? Bobo Beef says, howdy, Bobo. He says, hearing you, Leo Charlie. Copy that, Bobo. Yes, sir. All right. Just making sure we're live everywhere. All right, but yes. We are live on the YouTube. The audio works. She's hearing us, Lima Charlie. Good. All right. Let's take a look over here. All right. Audio's working good. Let's make sure we're live on the tiki-taki, a.k.a. the tac. All right. Legal says, good morning, Doubles. Good morning, Legal. Hope you're having a wonderful day. And by the way, happy National Dog Day. Did you know that's a day? I found out it's a day today. Yeah. It's a happy International Dog Day. All right, for all them dog lovers out there. Everybody loves dogs. I love dogs. I love doggos. Doggos are amazing. Yeesh. There we go. All right. Beautiful. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So right now I'm taking a look at CRE. Right over here. Joab says, good morning, Banger Nation. Good morning, Joab. Hope you're having a wonderful day, brother man. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Yes, sir. All right. So right now we're taking a look at CRE, which is up 196. Actually, it ran up a nice 200%. Joab says, "What's up, Doubles and Bobo? How you doing, Joab? I'm doing good. I'm chilling. I'm having a good day. CRE just ran up to 200%. We called it on the private Discord earlier in the morning at 7:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm chilling, ladies and gentlemen. I'm chilling. All right. Matter of fact, hold on 1 second. 1 second, right here. All right. Let me put this up here. CRE, we called this stock in our private Discord channel at 7:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time prior to its run up 200%. All right, so we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right, all right, all right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Woo! All right, all right, all right. All right, there we are. Marty says, "Good morning, Banger Nation. Good morning." And he says, "Hi, Doubles, Bobo, and Joab. Hello, Marty. Marty man, Marty man. He's Marty. Yes, sir. Yes, sir." All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take a look at CRE over here. CRE, real quick. I'm going to take a look at it real quick over here. All right, 1 sec. There we go. There we go. Let's take a look. All right, so CRE, let's get the graffiti pencil activated over here. Bop, right there. Okay, we got this going on right here. Right, CRE as of now is in a bit of a pennant. Needs to break this pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to me, but let's get the support and resistance lines all the way over here. All right, let's get the support and resistance lines over here. All right, it's holding above $7.01. Needs to break above $8.41 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. It needs to break that high a day. CRE ran up 200%. Needs volume to keep climbing and break the pennant and the high a day at $8.41 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Alright. Can it curl up and continue to climb? It looks like it's pulling back just a little bit because it is a little bit overbought in the RSI, so it is due for a bit of a pullback over here. So we'll see what happens there. Has to hold above $7.01. Has to break through $8.41 right there. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right, all right, all right. All right. So that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right. All right. All right, all right, all right. So there we go. There we go. All right, now CRE is a Hong Kong stock and is currently up 187. Ran up a nice high of 200. All right, the shares for this stock are trading higher after the company reported a year-over-year increase in the number of customers served in H1 of 2026. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. Is a little bit overbought on the RSI. If you take a look right over here. All right, boom. All right, and boom. Right there. So we got that going on. That is what we got going on right there. Needs to break above $8.41 for it to continue to be schmexy to meow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So let's take a look at some other stocks over here. Let's take a look at YYGH. YYGH. YYY. All right. Now, YYGH is up 71% with the shares trading higher after the company announced a supplemental agreement canceling its $5.94 million second convertible note tranche and warrants. So it's got that going on right there, but it did have a little bit of a, hold on, shoulder right around here, right? Hold on. It's like a little bit of a shoulder over here, a little bit of a head over here. Sort of. I mean, not exactly, but sort of. And then a little bit of a shoulder right here. And then it dropped its way back down over here. So it really needs to break this downtrend over here and needs to break the VWAP at $2.16 right there for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right, YYGH formed a head and shoulders bear pattern and needs volume to curl and break the downtrend and the VWAP at $2.16. All right, can it curl and break the downtrend and the VWAP? Can it do that? We shall see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on. Nick on Facebook says, "Good morning, DVL Nicks. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you are having a phantasmic day." All right. There we are. There we are. Let's see. Hold on. Let's take a look at SOAR. 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 All right. That's Volato Group Inc. Class A common stock up 91% right now and climbing. All right. Volato Group shares are trading higher after the company announced a deal to merge with Alignment Engine. So, as of now, this stock is actually moving and grooving a little bit. It is moving and grooving. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. All right. Curling its way on up right now. It broke above the VWAP at $1, excuse me, 26 cents, not $1, just 26 cents. And I was about to say 126 actually. All right, but let's see here. Now it's 26 cents. All right, needs to break the high of day, but first things first, needs to break resistance at 31 cents, and then needs to break 36 cents for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. All right, SOAR is on the uptrend right now. SOAR. SOAR. All right, it has a 53 million float, which is a very heavy float. Volume is 120 million. All right, I will say heavy float, heavy float. All right, curling upwards and broke resistance at, what was this over here? 30 cents. All right, needs to break resistance at 31 cents and then the high of day at 36 cents right there. Can it remain friends with the trend and climb up to break that high of day? We shall see. We shall see. All right. That's SOAR. SOAR. We'll see what happens, though. Can it break 31 cents right there? All right, all right, all right. So that's SOAR. SOAR. All right. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just get the announcements out real quick. Let me get the announcements out real quick. 1 second. 1 second over here. Let's get a share party in the meantime. Let's get to a nice, wonderful, hold on. Let's get to a beautiful 300, 300, 300, 300. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's get to 300. 300. All right. Here we go. Let's get a share party going. Actually, let's get to 200 and then we'll get to 300. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let's get that share party going. Let's get to 300. All right. There we are. There we are. There we are. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hold on 1 second. Let me just put this here. All right. Hold on. Let me get this over here. Bop right there. All right. Just got to get all the announcements out, ladies and gentlemen. So, how's everybody doing this fine day? Put it in the chat. Let me know how you guys are doing. How's everybody going? How's everybody liking International Dog Day? Yeah, that's right. It's International Dog Day. For those of you who don't know, yes, that is actually a day. And today is that day. It is International Dog Day. Yes. Yes. And because it is International Dog Day, I'm going to be watching my girl's going to be taking extra care of the puppies. I know that. She's going to be taking care of her puppies because she has puppies. God bless her. Yes, and she is going to be giving them treats. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Let me just put this over here. Boom. Get that there. Do. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeesh. All right. All right. All right. There we go. Get that over there. Get these announcements out. But yes, it is International Dog Day. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. All right, all right, all right. There we go. Let me just get this over here. Boom. All right. All right. There we are. There we are. Oh, there. Oh, there's our boy. There's our boy Rockusian. Rocky. That's our boy. For those of you who don't know a little bit of Coach Nick and DVL Nick's lore, this is our old doggo Rockusian. He's Rocky. That's Rocky. He was a lab. He was an English lab. All right. He's the goodest boy. He is the goodest boy ever. Okay. He is just such a good boy. Oh my God, I miss him. God rest his soul. He was such a good boy. He was the sweetest boy ever. All right. He was the sweetest doggo. No ifs, ands, or buts. No. I will not hear it. All right. SOAR is now up 108%. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. Hold on 1 sec. Yes, God rest his soul. Rocky was such a sweet boy. He was our old dog when we were still living in New York. God bless him. God rest his soul. He was such a good boy. Oh. He was just the best boy. There's a picture of him. Again, he was an English lab. He was an English lab. He was a good boy. English labs are like the most adorable little goobers. They're the most adorable little goobers ever. We loved them so much. Ugh. Ugh. The thing is, now I see a bunch of videos of Labrador puppies, right? Okay, so while I'm like just doing this here and taking care of B's niece here, all right. Just getting everything shared up. By the way, SOAR ran up. We called the stock this stock at 8:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time prior to its run up 108%. Boom. Alright, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out the free Discord right there. We actually called SOAR on the private Discord earlier today prior to its run up a nice 108% right there. 108%. Alright, but yes. Yes. Alright. There we are. Just gotta put that there. Alright. 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 There we are. Okay, good. Good. Alright. So, as of now, SOAR ran up a nice 108%. There we are. Good. Alright. So let me just put this over here real quick. Hold on. Get all this info over here. Alright. Alright. There we are. Alright. There we go. Beautiful. I just have to get the announcements out over here and we're good. Boom. There we are. Okay. Alright. So, ladies and gentlemen, alright. Now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at SOAR right now. SOAR pulled up nicely, ran up to 108, pulled back just a little bit below the 31-cent line over there. Alright. SOAR shot up 108%. Alright. Broke above 31 cents. Pulled back after the run. Needs to break that 31-cent resistance. Needs to break that for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. There we go. Alright. So that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. Alright. So, that's what we got going on there. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our free Discord that we got set up right there. Be sure to check it out. Be sure to join our Discord by clicking the link in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. Check out the free Discord. Click the little roll to get your roll, right? And basically what you do there is you get access to the exclusive live stream that we got going on. All right, we have exclusive live streams. We have all sorts of other cool things like the alerts as well as the daily reviews. That's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. So we got daily reviews and all sorts of other cool stuff. So be sure to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check it out. All right, and of course, ladies and gents, be sure to check out the 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99, because the free Discord is actually just a sample of what we got going on in the premium Discord right there. So be sure to check out the 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for only $9.99. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loots, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yes, sir, yes, sir. And good morning, Banger Nation. Good morning, Banger Nation on TikTok, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to the Banger Nation on TikTok. There we are, there we are. All right. So we got that going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. All right. Let's see here. Also, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our merch store where we got all sorts of amazing merch for the Banger Nation. We got t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got hats, we've got cup and handles, aka the mugs, ladies and gentlemen. We have mugs, we have tumblers, we have other cool stuff, like for example the computer mouse pads right there, computer mouse pads. All right, and of course we even have stickers and among other really awesome stuff. So be sure to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to check it out. All right, and stay tuned because we got some new merch planned down the hopper. We got some stuff planned for down the hopper for Goldie Brickstorm to be added to the merchandising. So be sure to check that out, ladies and gents. Be sure to check it out. All right, so let's take a look over here. Let's take a look at SOAR. We already got that one. We're going to take a look and wait and see how it goes. All right, we're going to take a look at DAIC in the meantime. DAIC, all right, DAIC currently up 52% right here. 52%. Let's see how this works over here. Bop, shot up over here, and then proceeded to pull its way on back just a little bit. Formed a little bit of a pennant, and now needs to really break above the pennant right over here by curling its way on up. Needs to break the VWAP at $6.02. Has some unconfirmed Q2 earnings due in 13 days from now on September 8th before the market closed. So we got that going on right there. Currently up 56%. Broke above the VWAP just now. So we're going to get some support and resistance lines right there. Needs to hold above the VWAP though. All right, but we're going to get some support and resistance lines right there. So that's what we got going on right there. DAIC, DAIC. DAIC right there. Hold on, hold on. All right, let's put this over here. DAIC. All right, curling above the VWAP at $6.02. Needs to hold VWAP. All right, testing the resistance line at $6.10. All right, so we got that going on right there. Can it break resistance? We shall see, we shall see. But that's DAIC right now. DAIC, we'll see what happens there. We shall see what happens. All right. All right, all right, all right. There we are, there we are. Let's get the share party going on over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to a nice 500. 500, 500, 500. Let's get that going on right there. Hello, hello. Yes. Yes. All right. All right. All right, all right, all right. So, that's what we got going on right there. That is what we got going on right there. Aww. I just saw a picture of baby boy Rocky. Oh. Alright, VCIG. VCIG, alright, has a bit of a uptrend going on over here. Alright, but as of now, it is kind of, how do I put it? It's moving up on low volume right now. So it's got a 7 million float, low 4 million volume right there. VSIG broke the VWAP at $3.64. Broke that VWAP right there. Let's see what we got going on right over here. Okay. Needs to break above the $4.44 line over there for it to really be so much maxi tumya. That's VSIG. Alright, it's a Malaysian stock. That's what we got going on. So it has to break above $4.44, which is a high a day. Alright, but it's going to need some serious volume right there. Alright. So VSIG, VCIG moving up on low volume. Alright. Broke multiple resistance lines, needs to break the high a day on these volume to break the high a day at $4.44. Testing the high a day. Can it break? Alright. And it looks like it has. It's up 60% right now. VSIG up 60% right now. There we go. There we go. Oh my, it's still climbing. Oh my gration. $4.67. That is the way. That is the way. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, gotta copy this over here. Excuse me, Mr. Watch. Can you relax? Thank you. All right. All right. So there we go. There we go right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. VSIG moving up on some relatively low volume. It's climbing up. The volume is moving up as well. But it already cleared multiple resistance lines. Oh, it does have news. Yep. Oh, let me see the news.
Launched a Galactron AI factory under its 5-year AI roadmap.
Ooh, okay. So VCI Global announced the Galatron AI Factory, a modular AI data center platform with the roadmap to 500 megawatts of compute capacity. All right, and it's 5-year AI infrastructure roadmap. So they got that going on right there. That is what they got going on. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. So that's what it's got going on right there. Boom. That's VSIG right now. Up 73%. Just broke above the high a day again. Broke the high a day. Now it has a new high a day at $5 and is climbing right now. VCIG broke the high a day and is climbing. Now up 70%. 75% now. Broke the high a day once again. Oh my, 88%. 93%. Oh my, can it break 100? Can it break 100? Come on now. The volume, by the way, exceeded the float. It still has ways to go, but it broke that area right there. Broke that little area right there. Alright. Needs volume to break the New high day at $5.60. Can it continue? The climb. Alright, alright.
How high did you sit get?
It went to 90. It slapped 90.
90?
Slapped the 90.
Slap it, baby.
It,
Slap
it,
it
it
good.
cranked the
Unless you
90.
get spanked, baby.
Pause.
Spank like
It,
a
it,
nice
it,
small
it cranked the 90.
Ooh!
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh, doubles.
Yes.
Ooh, doubles.
Ooh.
Doubles.
Yes.
Doubles.
Wow.
Ooh.
Woo.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's one of those moments with the it's like one of those moments with Ric Flair. Woo! Woo! Oh, wait, hold on. I got it right here. I got it right here. Hold on. Let me put it here. Hold on. Little Ric Flair. The Ric Flair woo moment. All right. Yes. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Where's a good Ric Flair? Yeah, there we go. Ric Flair. Woo! There you go. See? Woo! Yeah, that's the one right there. V-Sig making me go woo. All right. So that's V-Sig right there. That is V-Sig right there. All right. We're going to take a look at another one right here. We're going to take a look at another one. Let's get a share party going. Let's get to 700. 700, 700, 700. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Let's take a look at YYGH. YYGH. Hold on. YYG Holdings, again, they're trading higher after the company announced a supplemental agreement canceling its $5.94 million second convertible note tranche and warrants. All right. So, as of now, it was trading higher and now it's basically pulling back. It looks like it's trying to break the downtrend though. Looks like it's trying to break that downtrend. Can it continue to curl up a little bit? Can it break that downtrend? Let's see. We'll see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see. We shall see. All right. CRE. CRE trying to break the downtrend. Needs volume to break the VWAPA at $2.15. Can it curl and break the VWAP? We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, you got that going on right there. That is what we got going on. All right. So, you got that going on. That's YYGH. Let's take a look at SOAR. SOAR looks like it's pulling back. Pulled back, fell below the VWAP right there. Meh. Not looking too schmexy, but it did have that nice run going on. All right. So, there we go. SOAR. SOAR. All right. SOAR needs volume to break the downtrend and needs to curl and break resistance at the VWAP at 27 cents. 27 cents right there. It needs to break that area right there. All right. All right, all right, all right. We shall see what happens with SOAR, but It did have its nice run. It ran up a nice 108%, pulled back after such a big run. So you got that going on right there. Hold on. Oof. That's some good agua. All right. Let's see here. What else we got? What else we got going on? How about LGCL? LGCL currently on a bit of an uptrend right now. All right. Has a little bit of that resistance right over there at the 6 cent mark. LGCL is a China stock up 30%. All right. LGCL needs volume to break the resistance at 6 cents and the VWAP at 7 cents. Can it break the resistance and VWAP? Let's see. Let's see. We'll keep an eye on it, but as of now, LGCL, we'll take a look at it over here. It needs volume. It needs volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Otherwise, not schmexy. You know what I mean? Not schmexy after that. Alright, so we shall see what happens there. We shall see what happens. Alright. So, let's get a share party going. Let's get to a nice 700. 700. Alright. Alright. Let's take a look here. Alright, RDIB. Somebody requested RDIB. RDIB up 29%. Up 29% right there. Alright. Up 29%. Alright. Needs to break the pennant and really needs to break that VWAP at $14.93 for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. So that's RDIB. RDIB. Alright. RDIB needs volume to break the pennant and the VWAPA at $14.93. Can it curl off the pennant and break the VWAPA? Let's see what happens there. We shall see. Alright, that's RDIB as of now. RDIB. Alright. We'll take a look at it. We'll keep an eye on it, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens with it. Yes, sir. Alright. MSS. MSS is another one. Price spike right now, currently on its way up. Massive price spike over here. Alright. But MSS is working on a 569,000 float, 2 million volume, price spike, and now it looks like it's pulling back a little bit. Alright. So, yeah. Let me get the support and resistance lines over here. Boom. And boom. Alright, needs to break above $2.30, but also needs to break above 208. Price spike going on right there. MSS. Price spike. Needs volume to break the resistance at $2.08, which it looks like it just broke through, and the high a day at $2.30 right there. Can it remain friends with the trend and break the high a day? We shall see. Yes, sir. All right. There we are. All right. That's MSS, MSS. All right. Ooh. All right. There we are. There we are. All right. All right. All right. There we are. Good. All right. There we are. There we go. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. All right. Let's take a look at some requests here. Someone requested DAIC. DAIC. Let's take a look. DAIC. All right. As of now, moved up above the pennant, or excuse me, the VWAP right there. All right, and looks like it is moving it back down right there. It needs to break this little descending wedge right there. All right, needs to also break $5.91 and has to break the VWAP right there. All right, so DAIC formed a descending wedge. All right, formed a descending wedge. Needs to break the VWAPA at $6.02 and curl off that descending wedge for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. Alright, alright, alright. There we are, there we are. That's DAIC, DAIC. We'll see what happens with it, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see what happens with it. Alright, that's DAIC. Alright, there we are, there we are. Someone requested YYGH. Alright, let's take a look at YYGH. YYGH still trying to really curl up there. Still trying to curl. Needs to really break that $2.15 mark still. Still trying to move its way on up. So YYGH still trying to curl upwards and break the VWAP off the downtrend. Needs more volume. Can it break the VWAP? We shall see. We shall see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right. So. All right. Somebody requested, hold on, TRUG. TRUG. Someone requested TRUG, ladies and gentlemen. TRUG. Alright. Has a little bit of an A to B, B to C, C to D over here, but not really. It's just kind of low on the volume when you look at it. Hold on. Let me take a look over here. Yeah, it's very choppy with the price action, but it is trying to move a little bit towards the VWAP, so we'll see what happens, but honestly, it's a little bit choppy with the price action. It's very inconsistent. TRUG, TRUG, choppy on the price action. Needs volume to break the VWAP at 75 cents for it to be somewhat schmexy to meow. There you go. That's what we got going on right there. That's TRUG. TRUG. Alright. Alright. Let's see. We shall see what happens with TRUG. As of now, not exactly interested in it. Alright. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Alright. TRUG, not interesting. Alright. Someone asked for SDOT. Consolidated and choppy. Yeah. SDOT at one point was doing pretty good, but as of now, yeah, garbage. As of now, kind of garbage right now. Alright. SDOT. Consolidated along the VWAP. Once upon a time, it had its time in the sun. Now, very choppy with indecisive wicks. Needs volume to break the consolidation and the VWAPA at 1949. Expensive trash right now. And it curl. We shall see. That's SDOT as of now. SDOT, kind of expensive garbaggio as of this point in time, needs volume. Alright. Alright. So that's what we got going on for SDOT. SDOT, kind of expensive trash right now, but we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Alright. So, there we go. Alright, let's get a share party going on. Let's get to a nice 1,000. There we are. Alright. Alright. There we are. Alright, good. Okay. Let's take a look and see what else we got going on. Alright. What else is there? LGCL. Let's see. Let's see how it is. No. Not interesting. Not interesting to me. Alright. There we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. We're just about a little more than 15 minutes away from the bell. So we got 17 minutes away actually from the bell. So we got that going on right there. Alright. Someone requested TRUG again. TRUG. Trug. Garbaggio. Yeesh. Alright. Still choppy. And, yeah, no. Still garbage. Alright. TRUG not looking schmexy. TRUG. Pulled back. Needs to break the VWAPA at 75 cents. Needs volume for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. There we go. Alright. All right. All right, all right, all right. There we are. There we are. All right. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. All right. Mm, 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 mm. All right. Let's see. What else is there? What else is there? Let's take a look at DAIC. DAIC. Trying to curl a little bit. Actually, relatively consolidated along the VWAP as of now. Relatively consolidated just above the VWAP. DAIC. Relatively consolidated just above the VWAPA. Needs more volume to curl upwards. Can it curl? We shall see. We shall see. All right. All right. All right. Let's see what other stunks we got going on here. Let's see what other stunks we got going on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Someone requested YYGH. YYGH. Pulled back. Yeah, YYGH pulled back. So not looking too schmexy there. YYGH now pulling back. Not looking too schmexy. YYGH pulling back. Needs to break the downtrend and the VWAP at $2.14. Trash. As of now, trash. Meh. Garbaggio. Garbaggio. Yes. It is Garbaggio. YYGH. Still needs to break $2.14. Otherwise, it's not schmexy to me. Alright. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. That's garbage right there. Let's see here. Alright. Someone requested XPON. XPON. Let's see how XPON's doing. It's consolidated below the VWAP as of now. Not necessarily schmexy to me right now. It had its time in the sun, but it's kind of consolidated below the VWAP right now. So that's really what we got going on with XPON. XPON ran a while ago. Ran a few days ago. Alright. Alright. However, below, right, consolidated, below the VWAP, needs a lot of volume, needs to break the VWAP at $6.52. Needs more volume right there. Can it break the VWAP and the pennant? Let's see what happens with it. XPON. XPON. Alright, let's see. So as of now, that's what we got going with XPON. That's what we got going on with XPON. It's really consolidated. Needs volume. We'll see what happens there. Someone requested SMTK. SMTK. Let's take a look over here. Alright. SMTK really needs to break this little descending wedge. Alright. SMTK needs to break the descending wedge. Needs volume to break the VWAP at $4.85 right there. Alright. Needs volume to break the VWAP at $4.85. Alright. Can it curl off the descending wedge and break the VWAP? We shall see. We shall see. Alright. That's what we got going on right there. That's pretty much what we got going on with SMTK. Not very interesting to me as of now. We'll see what happens with it. We shall see what happens with it, ladies and gentlemen. But as of now, needs some volumation. Alright. So SMTK. Not interesting to me as of now. Alright. So that's what we got going on with SMTK. SMTK. Alright. Alright. Let's take a look at VNRX. Now, VNRX is starting to look a little interesting right there. But it is moving on low volume right there. So it is a price spike, but it's a price spike on low volume. VNRX price spike on low volume right there. Needs to break 64 cents. Needs to break 72 cents as well, which is a high day right there. Alright. So, VNRX. Alright. Price spike on low volume. Alright. Needs to break resistance at 60 cents and 64 cents as well. Needs to break the high a day at 72 cents. Needs volume to continue to remain friends with the trend right now. Alright. Not interesting as of this time. Can it remain friends with the trend? We shall see. Alright. There we are. Alright. We shall see. Right now, though, not looking interesting to me. That's VNRX. Garbaggio. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring. And, of course, if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check us out on our YouTube channel at Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money. Be sure to check us out on our X at Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money. Be sure to check us out on our Twitch at Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money. Be sure to check us out on our Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money.
At Coaching Money. Be sure to check us out on our TikTok, Tiki Taki, a.k.a. the Tac Tac.
Tac Tac.
The Tac Tac. You can find us there at DBL Nicks.
At DBL Nicks.
At DBLNICKS, and the screen name is CoachNickMoney. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out our free Discord. Go over there. You can see the Discord exclusive live stream, as well as the free alerts and daily reviews that we got going on over there. Be sure to check that out. That's all free stuff right there. So be sure to click the link in the description down below or the pinned comment section. All right, and be sure to click it. Get that free roll, and you will get access to all that cool stuff. But if you want the premium stuff, because the free stuff is basically just a little sample of what we do, all right, the premium stuff gets you the 4-day trial for the real-time alerts to the scanners for only $9.99. A link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check it out, because we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different, and the early bird gets the cash. And be sure to check out our merch, where we got all sorts of things, from t-shirts to hoodies to lids, aka hats. We got all sorts of things like mugs, aka cup and handles. We got other things like, for example, tumblers. We have mouse pads. We have stickers. We got all sorts of really cool stuff. So be sure to check it out. Rep the Banger Nation, ladies and gentlemen. Rep the Banger Nation and show it some love. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So that's what we got going on, folks. That is what we got going on. All right. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to stay tuned for 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Power Play, hosted by the legend himself, Coach Nick Money, as he traverses the stock market prior to the Power Hour. And what he likes to do is he likes to basically, he likes to let the people know. He likes to give the honest stock reviews and stock analysis right there before he basically, lets the stock simmer on high heat for a little bit with a little bit of paprika, a little sazon, a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of cumin, all that cool stuff right there. And basically what he does is he just, chills and reviews the stocks prior to the Power Hour. And then what he likes to do is he likes to get some dubs for the community. In Fortnite, he likes to get some dubs for the community, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he likes to do. So, yeah, that's what he's got going on. That is what he's got going on. All right? That's what the Coach Meister General likes to do there. All right? So, quick thing before we wrap up. If you guys have been watching and you're serious about trading small caps, don't just sit on the outside trying to piece it together. We've got a 4-day full access pass for $9.99, and it's full access. So you come inside, you get to see how we actually operate live. You get to see how we structure trade ideas, how we map levels, how we think about risk, how we handle momentum. You get access to the next day early watch list, as well as the 24/7 market news flow. All right, which is actually on the right-hand side of the screen, complete with hyperlinks. So all you have to do is get your due diligence at the press of a button. All right, and of course, we've got pre-market, regular hours, and after-hours scanners with float, volume, catalyst, context, and hyperlinks built right in. Again, also, you can just get your due diligence at the touch of a button. All right, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, you get access to our ticker tape built to catch stocks when they're starting to heat up, but before they go parabolique. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we don't do noise, we like structure. And if that's how you want to approach this market, grab the 4-day pass and come see it live. Link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section, so be sure to check it out. And when you come in, let us know you saw us on the stream. We'd love to hear from you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for me. Much love. I'll see you guys at 1:30 p.m. for Power Play. It's Double Nicks. I love you guys. And again, I'll see you at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day. Happy